I'm starting out with a folder of random OBJs. Well, not all that random, they're all in this category. And what we are going to do first is getting the Autodesk FBX Converter, link in the description, and convert all these age-old OBJs to FBX. And we're gonna change our destination folder and we're gonna save all of them in FBX updated so that we can differentiate what's new and what's old. So let's convert this, and you can see slowly all our folder here becomes populated. Now we have tons of text documents that we don't need, so let's get rid of those. And press F5, they are gone. So now we got updated FBXs that Blender can understand. Now let's open a fresh Blender instance. For this workflow to work, you will require Blender 2.91 at least. I have not tested newer versions. First, we're going to split our view into 3 different ones, and we're going to open up a text editor and the Python console. Now we're going to create a new text document, and in said document, we are going to paste our Blender script that I will just get from another Blender instance. And there we go. Okay. So now, in order for this to work, we need to take the folder path of the models that we would like to process. In our case, this is Blender scripting, columns, Gothic updated, yada yada. It is super important, by the way, that the folder your FBX are located in is named FBX updated, or at least starts with an F. This has to do with some potential pathing issues within the script. So now that we have our folder path, we can just go and let me just get this a bit more to the right, just throw it in here. Boom. Yeah, it already was the same because I tested this before, obviously. So now let's put the name of the model into the name variable, and this is also important. Let's get rid of the number. Okay, and let's see how many objects do we have in this folder. We have 61 objects, all of them FBX that we want to process. So our object amount would be 61. Now it's also important, if you have not done this before, rename all the FBX files that you want to process in a way that they are consecutively numbered, and you need to start with 0. Start with 0 and don't miss like one number in between. There are tools that are really great for quickly renaming a bunch of files. For instance, I often use Lupas Rename. It's really fast, it's free. The interface takes a bit getting used to, but it gets the job done fairly quickly, and gives you a lot of options to make this quickly go away, because renaming by hand, who does that anymore, right? So okay, we have our name, we have our path, we have the object amount. Now what we need to do is we need to tell Blender that our script should be handled basically like a plugin for this to work. We can excuse me, paste this command into the Python console. What this does is we take our text document, and as this is a new Blender file, it has the number 0 because we always start counting with 0. So this is text number 0. If we already had a text document and would have copied that in here, we would have text 1, etc., etc. So make sure the number down here is corresponding to the text document you pasted the script into. So yeah, we take this text document and launch it as a module that Blender, after we executed this command, then knows under the name my module. Okay, let's press enter and execute this. It finished execution. Wonderful. So now Blender knows our script, and what this allows us is to execute all the functions that are defined in the script. For instance, the start cleaning function. In order to start this function, we just type my module, because this is how Blender knows what we're talking about. This is my module, and then we're gonna get him to start the start cleaning function. Make sure not to forget the open and close parentheses, and let's press enter. And it will appear as if Blender has frozen, but that's not the case. What it does is it creates a folder in your FBX updated folder, and in there, oh, this is a horrible view. Let me change that. Okay, what it does is it fixes up all the FBXs from your FBX updated folder and gets rid of unused materials, puts in proper naming convention, and centers the pivot, aligns it to the z-axis, and checks the scaling, applies rotations and everything that might be in there, does smart UV unwrap, and lots of more stuff if you want to have a look at your models quickly. And it also does create a little render preview that is named after the model it's created from. And as we can see, we started out with 61 objects. Now we have 122, so just double of that. So this seems to have worked out nicely. Okay, so now we are done using Blender, and now in the following step we are going to open QubiPrep, and we will save our file path for that quickly, and we open QubiPrep now. Boom, there it is. This little program creates dummy textures and all the other stuff that is being needed in order to just seamlessly import models into Quixel Bridge without doing all the stuff manually. And what we're going to do is we'll create a new folder called exp that we're gonna export the processed models to, and it's already done. And what it has done is we have now a folder for every single model, because like this, Quixel Bridge immediately knows that this is about multiple models that have multiple textures, etc. The render preview has been put multiple times here in the folder and renamed in ways that Quixel Bridge knows how, okay, this is the preview image, so that you actually get a preview image. And it also inserted dummy albedo and roughness textures, because otherwise the 3D preview would not work. Okay, so now let's open Bridge. Nope, maybe later. And click on local, click on imported. You already see that for testing purposes, I already put one in there. Now all you need to do is press Ctrl A, drag all the folders in here, and boom, you got all your models right in here. It's all prepared the preview images work. It found the albedo textures, so your 3D preview will work. If you want to spend some time on categorizing this, please go ahead. I'm not gonna bother with that now, because I think there's a faster way, like generating the JSON files that describe the objects. So I'm not gonna do that by hand, and maybe update this tutorial in the future. So click import all, and you will see tons of dialog windows running down here in a bit when all the models one by one are quickly getting imported into my library. And yes, seemingly it's all working. Wonderful. Okay, so I'm gonna cancel this now, because otherwise, due to the sheer amount and sometimes resolution of the objects, this might take a while, because I'm not on my most fast machine right now. So let's close this. And as you see, the number was flipping here a bit, because by default, when you import a new custom model, it does not immediately show it in the imported section. What you need to do is press Ctrl R or restart the program, or I think there also was a option for that here. I just press Ctrl R, wait a bit, and wait for him to populate the library again. And we could look in imported, and there we have all the stuff that before was very, very nasty to deal with, because you would have needed to open them one by one just to see what's actually in there. And as you see, the 3D preview works just fine. There's just some shading issues here, be it to the mesh, be it to the processings that we did in Blender. Nobody can say. If you intend to further update the models you have in the future, you can totally do that. Just go into your Quixel Bridge folder, and besides the stuff you just downloaded from Megascans, maybe before, there's a custom folder, and there's a folder called 3D. And as you see, there's all the stuff we imported right here in the same structure that we have it in our EXP folder, with the slight difference that there's also an asset data.json that contains all the specifics of this model, although not not really detailed. Also, this is not really orderly, so one could edit that to add some tags and keywords afterwards, and maybe replace those automatically at a later point. I'll probably add some feature concerning that to QubiPrep. But yeah, this is the basic workflow